Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome to the final part of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog Expert Mode.
So Shadow, how you home now? You're doing great. Only 4 stages.
This is Eggman's secret base. I will defeat him and prove that I am the strongest.
Omega, cut it out. Don't you have anything better to do?
That has to be my favorite exchange from any of the characters in Expert Mode. Rue's trying to have a proper conversation with Shadow, only for Omega to interrupt her mid-sentence. Then to also just go, oh, by the end, realizing what he did. That is a fantastic little interaction between characters. You know, it's not fantastic, dying on solid land. I love when that happens. Thankfully, that's actually a good thing for my case, because I missed the top halfway due to a bad triangle jump. So I can have a do-over. Here I want to grab the egg vac here. It doesn't really matter what gun I'm getting specifically. I just find the egg vac to be a little easier to use in this level. Now, every single area here we have to be careful about because we're needing to go to where the dark mission ends, which means we're technically completing the dark mission for this route. Even though there's a gold ring at the end, we don't have to activate the lava generators. The egg pawns around the area will be doing that for us, which is gonna make this a lot more nerve-wracking of a stage to get through. This is gonna be lava everywhere. So, be careful with your footing. And also do as I say, not as I do. That's a good, useful shortcut, but it's also very dangerous. I gotta be careful here. I don't want to suck up anything else because I want to save my Chaos Control for a very specific section. Chaos Control in this level is a little weird depending on where you're going specifically. Chaos Control here in Lava Shelter is programmed for you to go to the gold ring, but the gold ring was moved in this specific version of the level. Unfortunately though, the Chaos Control pathing was not changed to accommodate this change. So if you use Chaos Control in the wrong spot, you can actually zoom past where you're supposed to go in this level and go down the hero path, which would lead you to nothing. So I want to make my way over to the checkpoint on the dark path and then use Chaos Control. This will send us straight through the top section on this portion of Lava Shelter, which will take us to where the gold ring is located. If you're not careful, you can use Chaos Control to go to where the hero gold ring would be located and be stuck. There's still a checkpoint there to use the warp out, but there's nothing to do in that final section. And it's time for Cosmic Fall. Also, volume warning because the person that's talking here, very loud on the ears. That's a lot of words for good luck. Holy crap, cheese. You're a talker. Also, of all the characters, why is she's the one that they give the loudest lines to? And I don't just mean in terms of the character screaming it, I mean in terms of the audio balancing. I heard Cheese's voice get distorted. It was that loud. But Cream, I still barely heard. Volume balancing. In my Sonic game? No. So for this level here, Cosmic Fall, I recommend getting yourself the heal cannon here. This level, thankfully, you're not on a timer anymore, unlike the normal version of the stage, but everything is still a waiting game here in the specific level. You can skip some of Cosmic Fall if you use the heal cannon, and honestly, it's a more recommended weapon to use for that reason alone. But we still have to be very careful over jumps. Take your time here because the camera takes a little bit to move. And if you try to move it yourself, it's still one of those situations. The camera in this level isn't gonna be your friend if you go a little too fast. This is another level where patience is the big key to success. So I'm gonna heal this gun soldier, and I'm just gonna jump infinitely to attack this black arm alien because he actually puts his arm up as a shield. And because of that, it's gonna be next to impossible to defeat that enemy with any other gun type. So, you're better off just jumping infinitely until the guy dies. It's a goofy strategy, but it's a flawless strategy. Gonna heal you guys up, give me some extra hero points. Won't have enough by the end of this section upcoming, which would definitely help. But maybe with this artificial chaos, we'll have just enough for 1 chaos control. If we heal this guy, he would actually give us dark energy, so you don't want to heal the artificial chaos. This section's gonna be very, very nerve-wracking because unfortunately there are no enemies here for us to use for homing attack chains. So there's one knock on safety, but also we're very close to chaos control, no enemies to fill it with. That's another knock for safety, because this is the section in the normal version of this level where I would recommend using chaos control if you have your meter filled, which is really only good if you have the heal cannon for the stage. So I want to be very careful here with these falling platforms, don't want to stay on too long, and this one we'll have to wait out. We'll have to ride this one up to the next checkpoint, and this next checkpoint is when things start to get pretty difficult.
I've got to find out the truth.
Thankfully, there's really nothing you have to do here, so you can hear some flavor text from Shadow. Since there are no other characters here in expert mode for you to work with, you'll always hear Shadow's idle lines instead of whatever other character's talking. So, we'll be cycling through whatever Shadow has in his mind. This section here is gonna be one of your hardest sections to make your way through in this specific stage. This is an optional pathway normally, but here, as you see from me falling down,
Damn, not here.
there are no platforms below anymore. This section we're going through was normally only for a secret key. Now, however, this platforming section is required to beat this said stage. You have to go the specific path. You have no other options. And it is basically the exact same layout as it was in the normal playthrough of Cosmic Fall. So if you know the patterns for these platforms, it's the same here. It's just that you didn't have to go this pathway, and it's just for an optional key. So I hope you're good at platforming, because Cosmic Fall is really going to be testing your platforming skills. This is where having a bunch of lives really come in handy, this specific stage. And also using your spin dash jumping also will be really helpful here. Might also be really helpful as well to still have a weapon to shoot in the air, or ditch your weapon to do a mid-air spin kick. There's a lot of nuances with Shadow the Hedgehog's movement you can use to your advantage to make this section a little more bearable. But because I did die, I did lose my chaos meter, so I'm not going to be trying to fill up chaos control anymore. It's going to be useless for the rest of the stage. So we'll just continue as normal. Here, if you have the secret keys, I recommend you use the reward behind the secret key door. It's going to make your life so much easier, and that's because of the next upcoming section here. It's going to be vastly different, and it makes it very trivial if you have the secret keys. So below us here is where the dark ending would have been normally, but as you can see, there's no gold ring here. So we're going past where the dark gold ring would be, and we're going to complete the hero mission. That is right, we're gonna go find the computer room. But to get to the computer room, that's when we have a pretty big change here to the level. This specific platforming section. This is where if you have the secret keys, you would be able to use light speed dash trails all throughout this specific section of the level. And this specific section is by far probably the hardest platforming section in all of expert mode. I hear so many players, when they get to this section of Cosmic Fall, struggle. This section has a lot of waiting. This is our only checkpoint before the goal ring. There was one more checkpoint left in the level, but it's next to the goal ring, so it's basically useless in the sense of this playthrough. Here we gotta wait for platforms to be lined up in specific spots so we can continue. Either the platforms moving back and forth, or just spinning around in the sky just like the ones we're on now. If you miss any of these jumps, you're starting from the very beginning. And that is very, very nerve-wracking. The secret key path will bypass this entire section, so if you have a secret key unlock here, I would recommend you use it. Because also, another problem in this section, the camera. It's pretty bad. You can adjust it with the second analog stick, sure, but unfortunately, with how wide open this specific section of Cosmic Fall is, there's going to be plenty of situations where your camera is just not going to be able to show you where you need to go properly. You really need to take your time here. Patience is a virtue. The faster you move here, the worse things will get. So we're going to be waiting here quite a while, and unfortunately every time you have to restart back at this specific checkpoint we're at now, you have to wait for this moving platform to do a full cycle so you can jump back on it, which wastes almost a full minute. So there's a lot of waiting in this section. This is probably the worst level in the Expert Mode playthrough by far, because it has the most changes. Every other level for the most part, as we've seen, has some minor changes here or there, or maybe they're adding some different obstacles to make it harder, but core level design for the most part is unchanged. Cosmic Fall is that one big exception. The entire ending section might as well be a different level.
Damn, not here.
Here comes our ride. Careful not to miss it. If we miss this, we're back at the checkpoint again, and I don't want to fall. That ring capsule's just out of reach, but I really don't need the rings. Move a little bit forward, being very careful not to go too far out, but I do need to see up ahead. There's another moving platform that's just barely in view of where the camera's located. So, barely making that jump. Riding another platform to a very fast moving back and forth one this time. So you're gonna have to jump for this platform while it's making its way to the pathway you're wanting to jump, but it's still easy to overshoot, make you miss by only fractions of pixels. This section I am not a fan of. I understand why a lot of people are not a fan of this specific level, but thankfully the secret keys do bypass all of this. So if you have the keys, use the light speed trails. This section alone is a good 2 minutes. And that's if you're doing it on your first try. If you have Chaos Control, you can bypass this whole section as well. And if you don't have the secret keys, then I will recommend farming Chaos Control for this specific section, because it will also save your life here. Scares me coming through. That's the last enemy we have to worry about, so I don't care about losing that ring. It's fine. Why it's good to have a safety ring. Alright, we made it to the worst platform to get on. Now this one moving back and forth up ahead, just like the rest of them, we just want to wait until it's next to where we're going to jump, and then we'll be fine. So I'll cancel out the spin dash. You could spin dash jump this, but right now I think it's safer just to do a normal jump. That's a fun fact about the spin dash, by the way. Most people don't know about that. Holding the spin dash for too long will cancel it. So if you don't want to use it, just hold the button, and eventually you'll stop. Should be lined up perfectly now, so now we'll jump off the platform. And this is our final major nerve-wracking jump. Because this next jump up ahead, even though the camera's pretty bad after you get off the rocket, you got some leniency because you got a parachute. So I'll use the parachute to line up with this final jump. And with that, we're done with quite possibly the hardest level here in expert mode. That's it for Cosmic Fall. We found the computer room, now let's get the heck away from the computer room.
Perfect.
Only 2 more levels left, and then we're done with expert mode. Getting near the end. Thankfully, these last 2 are not nearly as bad. These are pretty straightforward.
Hey, Shadow! How's it going?
You starting to feel the pressure yet?
John, I thought I told you to sit down and be quiet.
Oh, come on, leave me alone. Besides, you ate my pudding, didn't you, Vector?
Ah, busted!
Now you owe me for that, and don't forget it.
All right, fine! Do whatever the heck you want!
Sorry about that, Shadow.
Okay, well that was an interaction. I guess Vector owes Charmy a pudding. That's basically what I got out of that. But hey, you know, some Teen Chaotix back and forth banter, I'm fine with that. Give me some more character. Instead of just saying get to the goal ring, I prefer having some character development. This section is always kind of annoying when it just drops you out of nothing. But we want to use our chaos control here because we're going down the hero path, but we're next to where the dark path's located. So the game will autocorrect where your chaos control sends you. We're not supposed to be in this path at all in expert mode. It's impossible to get here by normal means. There's no Black Hawk that would take us here, so we're technically in a whole different sectional level we're never supposed to see in this playthrough. Mind you, the other side is unchanged, so we didn't really miss out on anything. Not gonna bother fighting the big aliens. We do want chaos control to be filled to get through the stage faster, but they're not worth fighting right now. Careful of these lasers here. Wait for them to move. And while we're making our way through this section, I want to talk about the Shadow the Hedgehog logo for a second, because a lot of people, they assume that the logo here for the specific game, that was always Shadow's thing. Technically, the logo is from the Black Arm aliens, but since Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game itself, we have just seen Shadow use that specific icon now more as his essential icon in general. People will associate the Black Doom symbol with Shadow and not the Black Arm forces. Which is a little fun fact that I think kind of goes unnoticed nowadays, only because this game is going on 20 years old. Which makes me feel old just by saying it. Gonna use the vacuum gun here from the alien specifically. Doesn't matter which one you use, the Black Arm version or your egg vac, but I'm gonna just use this one because I didn't want to open up this container just yet. I want a shadow rifle, even though the stage mostly does need a vacuum gun. Sometimes you can get away without using one. Although in this situation, it looks like I got a little screwed over by the level. Fun, so I'm gonna have to drop it. If you're too fast in this section, as we just seen, it is very possible that you pull back a block in the laser gate, but if you move away from it, it will deload. In that case, it's not gonna block the laser anymore. You have to wait for the block to fully block off lasers before you run away from it. It's a old 5th generation, 6th generation video game, excuse me, so that's gonna happen a lot. Product of its time. We use a vacuum gun here, or we could just spin dash over, which I'd rather do, because I want to use the shadow rifle now. Almost have enough hero gauge filled up for chaos control, which will be really helpful coming up here soon. I might as well just get it now. We're not going to use it just yet. I'll just run through this section, take care of all the aliens around me to keep the meter filled. But right here, this is a good section to use this. We don't have to drop our Shadow Rifle. We can just go right through the laser. And now dropped off right into another long and open area, which would have been probably better to keep Chaos Control still, but it's fine. They got all the aliens around us here. And now we'll have an elevator, just gotta wait for this. This whole section is unchanged from the normal layout, so you know the drill at this point in the stage if you played through the final hunt before. These in this section are gonna be completely useless in our sake, because we really don't need the points, so I don't need the turrets. Just enough Chaos Control that instead of going through a grinding section, we can just fly through it. I'll take one of your laser guns now, thank you. We should have just enough aliens around us that we could attempt to go for Chaos Control, but at this point, we're better off just running to the end because we're right next to the goal ring anyways. It would be slightly faster in some areas to use Chaos Control, but your running speed is probably faster than just Chaos Control in this situation. So we'll just run as fast as we can. So throughout this entire level, you may have noticed that the Dark Mission objective points are completely absent. There are no switches here, which means you don't have to worry about the gate at the very end to be shut at all. So, nowhere a problem to get the goal ring. It's just right there, waiting for us to grab it.
Perfect.
And now with Final Haunt completed, that's all of the main levels from all the different paths, so it's time for the final stage in Shadow the Hedgehog, the Last Way.
Great job making it this far, Shadow.
Give it your best shot and make your way to the last goal ring.
You can do it!
Good luck, Shadow.
Good luck, Shadow.
Give it all you got!
Fight!
You're gonna do
Good luck.
Now go. Head for the goal ring.
You're all counting, Shadow.
Best of luck.
Good luck.
I believe in you.
Since we are at the end, everyone that we know has to give us that good luck speech. So let's prove all of our training was worth it and complete our final level, which is very much unchanged. There's not much different here in the expert version of The Last Way. Some obstacles are a little bit harder, but for the most part, this level is the exact same as it was for your first go around in the last story. So just be using Chaos Control pretty much every single moment you have a chance to, and that'll be the whole stage. Right here, we've got some worms I want to kill because they'll give me a good amount of my meter fill, because we're coming up to a Chaos Control section here. Although, we don't necessarily need to take it. We can actually bypass the section with a spin dash jump, and I'm going to be doing that. I'm just going to want to fill my meter just enough. And right here, they want you to use Chaos Control, but you could just barely make this jump. So I'd rather do that because you would immediately stop using Chaos Control here anyways. That's if you want some refills. And right here is a shadow box, so I do want to refill. Now if I can hurry up and keep this Chaos Control meter, this is a better section to keep it because up ahead is another Chaos Control section. So we are forced to use it here regardless. So, unfortunately, the worms don't come out because, well, they just don't want to, I guess. We'll use our Chaos Control here, hit a checkpoint, and take our big loop here, which is a loop we've seen a couple times already, thanks to Final Haunt. Take out the big alien soldiers here. It really helps on our chaos control meter. Now we're filled up very, very fast. Guessing our extra life here. And we're getting near the end of this X Mode playthrough. And we're at 97 lives. Just 2 more. We have an even 100. Or an even 99. I know all the math. This section has, I believe, more Blackhawks you have to use on a homing attack chain. Doesn't really matter when you have chaos control. And that's the whole gimmick of this level anyways. Chaos control. Everywhere. We have to use it in this section anyway, so I might as well use it here before we get to the chaos control section. And again, another chaos control section is right here. So we'll use our remaining chaos control meter and fly up to the top, which gives us not 1, but 2 shadow boxes and our final checkpoint. And we did it. We're at the end of the X-Mode playthrough, but more importantly, we got a 99 life count. We hit the maximum lives here in Shadow the Hedgehog by the end. So what do you say, to end off this run through, we give Shadow 1 more chaos control. Let her rip.
Behold the ultimate power.
A little anticlimactic because the goal ring is a little further ahead, but that got us through the last set of enemies, and the final goal ring has now been achieved. That is it for the Expert Mode playthrough of Shadow the Hedgehog. So, with our Expert Mode run completed, enjoy the main theme of Shadow the Hedgehog. I Am All of Me, performed by Crush 40.